Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. Now, I've been tagged. By Marcus, X-Files 2708. I've nailed that one, haven't I, Marcus? I know a lot of people struggle with that one. Now, Marcus has tagged me into doing this video, and it's 31 horror films in 31 days in October. Not watched them, but essentially, if I was to make a list for people for suggestions to watch a film a day in October, the month of horror, what I'd suggest. And I've now dragged off 31 films off the shelf. Going to record this video and put them all back. That's quite a task. Thanks, Marcus. I owe you one, mate. But I think I've got some decent films in here. When I did my top 10 horror films video a couple of weeks ago, I professed to not being the biggest horror fan in the world, and some people in the comments down below said that maybe I was with my selections, and judging by these, in my opinion, some good films here, so maybe they're right, maybe I'm quite a horror fan. But we'll get into it, and maybe you guys could be the judge of that. Oh, and before I start, I just want to say a special thank you to my son's girlfriend, Katie, who's just returned from the Canary Islands and brought me back this rather spiffing Godfather t-shirt. Do you see Mrs. Blu-Roy making an appearance in the background there? So anyway, thanks Katie once again. Absolutely love it. Beautiful t-shirt. And let's get on with my 31 horror films for 31 days of October. Now, I'm not going to go on too much about each title because there's a lot of films and we'll be here for a long time, and I don't want that and you don't want that. So let's get into it. And first up, I'm going to go with 10 Rellington Place. Such a brilliant film this is. Dickie Attenborough, Judy Geeson, John Hurt, all about a true story. John Reginald Christie, who was letting out rooms in his building and basically killing people and burying them in the back garden. Yes, such a good film, and Attenborough is absolutely wonderful in it. Really, really chilling. Highly recommend that. The sale will be coming up at Indicator anytime soon, so grab yourself a copy of that for a £5 and do yourself a favour. Awesome stuff. Next up, I'm going for Francis Ford Coppola's Envisioning of the Dracula story. Gary Oldman, good Dracula. Not my favourite Dracula. I've discussed my favourite Dracula before, but he brings a really good Dracula to the table, and very chilling, and Coppola's direction in this really good. Yeah, really good telling of the Dracula story. Next up, I'm going for M. Night Shyamalan and The Sixth Sense. A film I've seen loads of times and like it just as much every time. Even though I know the twist now, I enjoy it just as much looking for the signs and thinking, why on earth didn't you spot that straight away, Roy? Because a lot of people say they got it straight away, but I never. I very rarely do get twists in films, to be honest. I think it's too short planks for me, but there you go. Yeah, really great film, The Sixth Sense. Really creepy. Good stuff. Next, I'm going with Ready or Not, about this girl who goes to her boyfriend's house, who lives in this big country house, and they're having a party, but it ends up in a game of hide and seek with her, and if they catch her, they can kill her. Really good fun film. Some really gory stuff in it. Deserving of its 18 certificate. Yeah, one I really like. Another spooky one, and another one with a twist, and another one that I didn't spot because I'm stupid. Nicole Kidman, The Others. Love this one, really creepy. One of my favourite jump scares, when she thinks a little girl's under the veil and it's a little old lady. Yeah, I really like The Others. Great. And another creepy one. Seems to be a pattern emerging here. A folk horror, quite a recent one, and one I really like. Robert Eggers, The Witch, or The Witch. Why they put it into two V's, I don't know. There must be some reason. Anybody knows? Let us know down below. But again, another really creepy film. Terrifying goat in it, and the guy in it. Oh, I can't remember his name now, but he was out the Finchy the rep out of The Office is really good as the dad in it. Yeah, I really like this film, The Witch. I've watched that a few times, and again, it's another one. Just gets better and better every time I watch it. Awesome stuff. Now, this seems to be one that divides opinion. Seems to be one you either really like or you really hate. But I fall down on the side of really liking it, and that's Hereditary, and another creepy one. And Toni Collette in this wonderful actress that she is absolutely fantastic. Again, this is all about this cult in there, and it's really creepy. And there's a scene in here, if you've seen it, a lamp post and a head, or is it a tree and a head? A tree and a head, isn't it? Once seen, I can never forget. Yeah, Hereditary, wonderful stuff. Next, I'm going for a classic: Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Scott Glenn, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter. Such a creepy git, such a great character. Everybody's seen Silence of the Lambs. Everybody should have that on their list for October. Phenomenal film. Next, I'm going to go for one that we recently watched and I recently had in my weekly watches, and that's Dorothy. About this girl, and you never quite know if she's possessed or she's mentally ill. Bit of the Wicker Man vibes in it, with this island and all the people are quite strange in there and they're harbouring a secret. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I wasn't expecting much out of it, and delivered to a good hour and a half of creepy fun, which is what horror films are all about. Yeah, it's Dorothy. If you haven't given that a watch, give it a go, because quite enjoyable. Next up, one I need to rewatch because I haven't seen in a long time. Jeepers Creepers, where you get those peepers. Sammy G, bit of singing for you, mate. And this is great film. I've seen the second one. I quite like the second one, but I haven't seen. Is there three now? I haven't seen the third one. This is all about these two teenagers. They're driving home. It's Justin Long, and I can't remember what the girl's name is. And they're followed by this guy in this big old creepy truck who's trying to run them off the road and stuff. And they stop him and follow him, and they see him putting a body down this chute. But when they go down this chute, it's not very nice indeed down there. Yeah, I really like Jeepers Creepers. Quite an underrated horror film in my opinion. Yeah, really good. Next up, we're going to Korea. And I Saw the Devil. And this film is brutal but wonderful. This is all about, there's a serial killer on the loose, and he kills this policeman's fiancée. And when the policeman finds out, he captures the serial killer and he tortures him and lets him go so that he can capture him and torture him again and keep doing it and keep doing it. And it's really brutal, as a lot of these Korean films are. I Saw the Devil, not for the squeamish, but again, one I highly recommend. Absolutely fantastic film, that one. And we're staying in Korea for one I think Marcus mentioned, and I think Tim might have mentioned as well. The Host. A wonderful creature feature about this monster in the river. Effects maybe a little bit dated now, but it's really good stuff. Really fun film. And again, I haven't seen it for such a long time. I need to give it another watch. Well deserved to be on both them guys' lists, and now I'm going to make it a hat trick. Yeah, I really like that one. Next up, from Guillermo del Toro. Always murder that name. Another folk horror film, and one that I really enjoy. Crimson Peak, with another name I always butcher, Maya Wasikowska, Jessica Chastain, I think she's marvellous in anything, and Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, just again, so atmospheric, and the cinematography so colourful on it, and a really, really good story. I highly recommend Crimson Peak. I think most people have seen it, but if you haven't seen it, give it a go. Next up, and it's a remake, and rarely a remake that holds up and is as good as, if not a bit better than the original. But I like both films, and that's the Martin Scorsese remake of Cape Fear with Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte. We lost him recently, didn't we? Jessica Lange, about Robert De Niro comes out of prison, and he terrorises his defence lawyer that never saved him from prison, terrorising him and his family, and his De Niro. This is so creepy, and yeah, just a good horror thriller film, one that you can watch over and over again. Next up, John Carpenter, The Fog. Again, really atmospheric, really good film, one I really enjoyed. Ghostly pirates, what's not to like? Next up, I've got a TV movie that went on to be a movie starring Daniel Radcliffe even, as a remake, old Harry Potter himself, and that's The Woman in Black. In my opinion, this is a far superior version of the story. A lot creepier, didn't rely on so many visual special computer effects as the Craig one. All practical stuff, all really creepy and well worth a watch. I think it's quite a rare Blu-ray now, so it might be a bit difficult to track down, but if you get the opportunity, give that one a go. Next up, this is a little film I really, really enjoyed, called Spring. Now, this is best going in one of those that you don't know much about, but it's about an American guy who goes on holiday to Italy and meets up with this girl, and this girl isn't all she seems to be, and it goes in real weird and wonderful directions. Yeah, 101 Films. You get a chance to grab a copy of that, give it a go, because, like I say, really good stuff. Next up, and another one I watched and talked about recently in my weekly watches, the 1950s Don Siegel, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Absolutely marvellous. I think I like it better than the 70s version now. So creepy, so atmospheric, paranoia. You don't know who's who, whether the person you think's your friend is your friend or not. They've been taken over by aliens. Really like that. There again, I do need to watch the 70s one again, because it's a long time since I watched that. So after watching that, I might flip-flop them. I'm Fickle is my middle name, I reckon. Yeah, I really loved that. And changing direction completely after that is this one, Gremlins 2. I love the Gremlins original. I know it's not proper out-and-out horror, it's more fun. But Gremlins 2 took Gremlins 1, took the ball and ran with it. And much bigger, much better, much funnier. Some scenes in that absolutely wonderful. Just a fantastic film. When you need cheering up, that's one to stick on. Gremlins 2, the new batch. Brilliant. Alright, we're getting through them a bit. Next up, I've got Maniac Cop. A cop from beyond the grave going around slaughtering people. Good bloody action film. William Lustig directed. Got Bruce Campbell, Tom Atkins. What else do you need? Brilliant stuff. Next up for my good self, and kind of a take on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre story. I think it's based on the same story, is Deranged. Again, like I say with Texas Chainsaw, it's a similar story, similar idea, and Though it might not be as good as the original foretelling of the story, it's still really good fun, still gruesome. Some scenes in it that you won't forget. Yeah, really worth a try. Deranged. Good Arrow release, that one. Next up for me, a film by Gaspar Noé, and the only film I've seen of his, and I've got a couple more to watch, is Climax. Is it horror? I suppose I'm stretching the genre quite a bit. It's got some horrific scenes in it, so yeah, I'm claiming it. This is all about, they're like a dance class, and somebody spikes their drink with hallucinogenic drugs, and my word, it goes south. Some very disturbing stuff happens, but it's a hell of a lot of fun, and some great dancing scenes in it. I'm not one for dancing myself, but I did enjoy the dancing scenes in it. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I know like Gaspar Noé's got something like a checkered career apparently, but if his other films are as good as this one, I'm going to enjoy when I do get round to them. Yeah, that's Climax, brilliant. Next up from Takeshi Miike, Audition, and I think Sammy watched this recently, and I really like this one. This is about a guy who's a widow, and he holds sort of interviews, sort of like job type auditions for a new wife, and the women think they're actually going for a job, but no, he's screened them for a new wife. And when he makes his pick, he picks one that's slightly unhinged, and again, there's some scenes in this that'll make you wince. Yeah, I really like it, and I know Sam enjoyed it. And another one I need to. A lot of these films I do need to rewatch. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Next up, a John Landis classic. We all know this one, American Werewolf in London. For me, the seminal werewolf film. You'll never beat the werewolf change effects like you get in this one. Absolutely iconic scenes, and it's all lashed with a lot of dark humour, which is up my street and up a lot of your guys' street. Absolutely must-watch film for horror fans. Next up, and again another one that I've seen recently and talked about on the channel, a very creepy early talkie from Carl Theodor Dreyer, Vampire. Gets so atmospheric, so creepy. There's a death scene in here involving a load of grain and suffocation. That is quite a standout scene in it. Yeah, very, very good. Next up, and we're going to Japan this time for Kobayashi and Kwaidan. Now, this is 3 hours long. It's anthology. I think there's 4 different stories of Japanese ghost films from, I think, the 60s. What year was it? 1964. Yeah, 183 minutes. And they're 4, particularly the last story, really creepy, but really, really great stories. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, again, if you get a chance to grab a copy of that, grab one, because it's a brilliant, brilliant film. I think, for me, probably the best horror anthology film you can buy, Kwaidan. Next up, we're going across the globe to Finland, believe it or not, and The White Reindeer. This is, again, I think this is a 50s film. Yes, 1952, black and white. This is all about this woman. She goes to a shaman to get a potion to make her irresistible to men. But the side effect of that potion is she turns into a vampiric reindeer. And yes, it's crazy as it sounds, but it's a really, really good film. Yeah, great film. Really, really like that one. Again, another Masters of Cinema collection just strikes every time for me. And now we've been in Finland, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to jet back over Japan, and we're going to go for an Obayashi film, and we're going to go for the surreal, absolutely bonkers House. Now, this is a crazy, crazy film. This is all about these young girls. They go and stay with one of the girls' aunts, but it turns out her house is very haunted, and it's not your paint by numbers horror ghost film. It's very surreal. It's got some crazy scenes. This falls into the category of not for everyone. If you've got any interest in this one, I'd say maybe check out the trailer first, and I think you'd know straight away if it's going to be for you or not. Fortunately for me, it was for me, and I absolutely love the film. It's batshit bonkers, but really, really good fun in my opinion. House. And we'll stay in Japan because next we're going to go for Kuroneko, a film from the 60s, I believe. Yeah, 1968. These is about these two women in Japan in the Middle Ages, and they're attacked in the worst way possible and killed by these samurai. So their ghosts return to wreak revenge on any samurai that pass by their place from there on in. And yeah, just a great Japanese ghost film, these ghost story that were done so well by these Japanese directors at this time. Yeah, that's another one absolutely wonderful. And the Masters of Cinema series again, it's just a stamp of a quality when you pick up a title. Yeah, really good film. And next up, a film from a couple of years ago that I absolutely fell in love with. Edgar Wright, Thomasin McKenzie, Anna Taylor-Joy. Last Night in Soho. Just a brilliant sort of time travel ghost story with great special effects that I fell in love with. Anna Taylor-Joy, she's just a star, isn't she? Absolutely wonderful actress. Yeah, absolutely. If you haven't seen this film, pick it up because it's bloody brilliant. So that's 30 out of the way. We're now on Halloween. What are we going to watch on Halloween night? And for me, there's only one film to watch on Halloween night. Halloween. Absolutely sublime, iconic. I'm not really into the slasher films per se. I couldn't watch the whole 10 films or whatever's in the series, but the first one for me is bloody brilliant film. Michael Myers, what a character. Carpenter, legend. Brilliant slasher film. That's it. So that's it, guys. That's me 31 for 31. You made me work there, Marcus, so thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the list. Now I've got to tag a couple of people myself, I suppose. I don't know who's done it and who hasn't. I'll tag James again, Movie Mad, because why not? He could do with doing a bit of up and downs on his shelves, get his shelf sorted out a bit. And has Sam done it? I think Sam's been tagged, but if you haven't, Sam, jump in. Stuart, I'll tag Stuart as well, Stuart George, why not? There you go, that's it, guys. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you all later. Ta-ra.